It's not money. It's not a commodity. It has no intrinsic value, so it can't be a store of value if it doesn't have any underlying value to store.
Criticize their investors. If they get mad, they're gambling.
If you have as a gambling token, you don't have a currency. I can't buy a pizza with Bitcoin. I can't buy a car with Bitcoin. All I can do is put money into it and then watch it go up 20% and down 30%.
If it's not a great store of value, and I don't think it is, either one of those things, because in the very least, the volatility, well then what makes it valuable?
In almost 20,000 intrinsically worthless cryptocurrencies. So we've lost 2 trillion, 1 trillion left to go to zero out.
The very last time that this chart did this, all the way back in late June of 2020, was the beginning of a 60% pumperoo mega bust to historic all-time highs. And it's not even a crypto chart. But more importantly, with the DXY dumping harder than a Taco Bell employee after chowing down on one too many chalupas, are we about to see the biggest dump fest that we have ever seen? Potentially greenlighting the biggest relief Santa Claus rally since the beginning of Christmas itself. And with only days until the biggest CPI report in history, is this about to be the biggest, most jam-packed, absolutely bonkers week for the crypto space that we will ever experience? Right now, the Bitcoin price sits right near the $17,000 level, and we are about to enter, no doubt, undoubtedly the biggest week for the rest of the year, as this new CPI combined with this very critical DXY level and this one extra secret chart as well will dictate everything for at least the next month. So give the channel is absolute time sensitive alerts, and without any further ado, let's dump in to this absolutely insane data. So if we take a look at Bitcoin's chart right here, we have seen, we saw this happen at the very end of November, the very beginning of December. Are we setting up for a true reach around surprise in December, as November really began a gigantic dump? A lot of people, well, not really. Okay, let's be honest. I don't know if anyone was expecting November to be pumpy. I don't know if anyone expects December to be pumpy. I don't know if anyone really expects any sort of real pumpage for a long time. However, we started off November completely getting dumped on, completely covered. And now, as we begin December, there are signs already showing that potentially, at the very least, we can recover some of this dumpiness and turn it into complete pumpiness. And okay, as we spent roughly like half of the entire year of 2022 right around 20,000, a little bit above and a little bit below for, as you can see, a very long time here. If we take a look, 18,000 the low, like 24,000 the high, but the kind of median or like the center line of all of that was right around 20,000. We are still, we're going on like 4 weeks below that. And now there's some very promising signs shaping up that potentially we're about to see, at the very least, a Santa Claus rally. And so if we take a look at the SPX on this 10-day chart, this is the very first time we've gotten a bullish cross on the MACD since when? All the way back in June of 2020. A real bullish cross. We've had a little fake out ones over the past couple of months, throughout, or actually over the past 2 years. However, this is the very first time that we're oversold on this MACD, actually going all the way back to 2008, which is kind of mind-boggling. If we take a look on the MACD on this 10-day chart, the last time that Bitcoin swung, or sorry, the SPX, not Bitcoin, the last time the stock market swung this much to the downside and had this much complete dumpiness pressure was literally all the way back in 2008. And once we got that bullish cross back in 2009, you know what happened. We actually started kind of recovering over the next couple of months and years. And now we're kind of in a similar spot here. So there's no guarantee that this chart is saying we're about to pump. However, the DXY looks, in my opinion, a much better place. The SPX looks in a much better place to have some sort of relief right now, especially as we head into this final month of the year. It's just very big. And we know how that goes with Bitcoin. Okay, we've broken this concrete level. If over the next week or two we end up coming back below 4,000 and retesting this and holding that will be extremely bullish for the SPX, which is extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Now, I want to add as well, the DXY looks like complete garbanzo, right? It looks complete garbage. It looks like a complete bag of spoiled, rotten milk. And we had a little bit of bounce over the past 2 weeks, a little bit, but it was so underwhelming. It could not even get anywhere near the 110 level, which we said would be a great place to get rejected and continue this downtrend. And now we're already testing the next leg down. Now, keep in mind, we are going to get some relief probably for the DXY. But I think at this point it's very clear the downside momentum is building up a little bit, especially in just a few days. We're going to be getting the November report reference month for the CPI release just in about a week from now. And that's going to be gigantic because if inflation again comes in a little bit lower than expectations, basically the floor is going to collapse. It's going to fall out of this thing. And the DXY will get completely dumped on. The stock market will do something similar like it did just about a month ago on the last CPI reading and pump a lot. But, how is that going to translate to Bitcoin? And that's something I want to talk about as well, because that's extremely important. Analysts right now are looking at that $17,000 level as a huge pivot point, specifically 19,000, reclaiming that as well. But more importantly is that we're still dealing with the contagion and the fears about the crypto space. And even though Bitcoin has kind of gone up a small amount because of the current macro environment, meaning it's over the past 2 to 3 weeks in the very, very, very short term, it's looked a little bit better. That's absolutely no confirmation that it's looking really good. It's not. But in the very short term, it's looking a lot better. And Bitcoin is finally, again, we didn't really benefit from that last pump at the beginning of November because FTX, that's when it collapsed. Now, if we get another good report in December, 2 decent months, if we get a second consecutive month, then I have no doubt we have to throw in this little caveat. As long as Binance doesn't collapse or Tether doesn't collapse, then Bitcoin will pump too. And again, so those are pretty cataclysmic, gigantic black swan events that would have to happen to prevent Bitcoin from pumping this time in just a few days. But if those things don't happen, then it's all but assured that Bitcoin should experience relief with the stock market. Again, the only reason Bitcoin didn't follow the stock market a few weeks ago is because of FTX. But something else also going on, the Bollinger Bands are looking extremely squeezed, which we see before the biggest moves. Last time we saw this was back about a week and a half ago when Bitcoin did finally break again above the $1,700 or $17,000 range. But also with Bitcoin's chart here, Bitcoin's weekly chart, again, we're still, it's kind of amazing actually, we're still holding at the bottom of this long-term downtrend that Bitcoin has found support on really since this bull run began, since the very beginning of 2021, as it's been getting dumped. Before that, it was just straight up to the upside, and now it's been holding support at the bottom here. And an upper retest would be around the $24,000 level, $25,000 almost. And the midline, again, which I think is just this is when I think things kind of can actually flip bullish because they're not yet, but flipping 19,000. And getting very close to 20,000. Every day that goes by, it gets a little lower because it's a downward trending line. But flipping like 19,700 right now is a very big bullish confirmation. And I think everyone would agree with that. Now, we're not really close to that at all. But if Bitcoin can muster enough strength to reclaim 20,000, where it spent almost the entire year of 2022 defending until just last month when FTX collapsed and brought us below that, if we can reclaim 20,000 again, then there is a case for the bulls. Not a case for a bull run, in my opinion. Okay, not a case for new all-time highs. Okay, let me make that clear. I don't think if we flip 20,000, I don't think we're going back to all-time highs, and I don't think we're entering a new bull run because of that. However, just very, very strong pumpage can be had for a few months afterwards if we can actually reclaim that level. Okay, I'm talking about maybe the $30,000 range again. That's basically what I'm saying for Bitcoin. If we can actually reclaim some of these levels, the DXY keeps getting dumped on, and the stock market can kind of have a multi-month rally going into the very beginning and end of 2022, beginning of 2023. Please like, subscribe, turn those ghost notifications so this is absolutely completely mind-numbing, time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of over $30,000 deposit bonus with BITGET. $30 free simply by signing up is a welcome bonus with my link below. And additionally, 0 fees for spot trading on BITGET, in addition to a lot of other bonuses with BitGet and FEMX as well below. Without further ado, it's for me.